Okay, so we're live. So welcome, Seer and Higher Self. So we connect with your higher self. So I connect with my higher self. Our higher self can never harm us. Our higher self only is here to help us. And your higher self is like your consciousness, but the you that's connected to source. The way I see it is kind of like an antenna where you are connected through the heart. So we go through the heart. It's the most secure portal. So the heart is 5D. And then we connect with our hearts, connect. Eckhart actually calls it the deep eye, because if we say higher self, we go out of the body. So, but we want to go into the body, into the heart. Okay, great. Hello. So we're just landing here, just getting kind of like a lot of energy comes in at once. So then we're just kind of balancing. I'll put the write up in later because it wouldn't, the recording couldn't come through, so it wouldn't kind of copy and paste actually. So we're okay. So as we land here, always through the heart. So the heart is the 5D portal. It's the most secure portal in any work. So anytime you meditate, anytime you connect with your higher self, I always go through my heart, connect to my higher self, and then connect to source. So source consciousness, I always say source mirroring source. So we're like emanated from source. And then as a seer, so what's a seer? It's a seer kind of sees things in any dimension. So I can go anywhere between 3D to 25D. And then like the Akashic records are in 6D. The new earth is 5D. And so for seer work, it's very concise and precise. But the most important thing that I feel with seer work, besides it being in that multi-dimensional, being able to connect with your higher self, everything is by consent. And so there's only respect. So respect for your path and for your soul's path, for your higher self's path. And then I'm always asking, is this a yes? And is there more? Inside, I'm always asking, is there more? And then what is it that your higher self wants to bring forward? And and your higher self tells me. And then I repeat what your higher self says. Sometimes I close my eyes, but mostly my eyes are open because it's source consciousness mirroring source consciousness. So it's integrated in the body and we're connecting to Gaia. So, and what's beautiful about seer work is that you're connecting through the heart, but it integrates into real life right away. So it's not like later, oh, this is later. It's happening in the now. Like you're not just getting insight, you're getting verification because the words that come through have more meaning for you than they have for me. I mean, they have meaning for me. I understand, but there will be a certain word and it will hit kind of the nail on the head. So it's more like an orientation and an integration, and then an integration through the heart. So we're always looking for precision to kind of adjust things, feel it in the body, and then feel it in to all of your cells, your inner body, because the body will tell the truth. And it's never complete until the body says yes. We need a clear yes from the body. And so we're not here to like loop and go over things over and over again, because the seer work is like a straight arrow. It's precise, it wants to hit the mark, and then also to create like a transformation. And we need the body to agree, because we're in a human body. So the human body is 3D. And then we're transitioning, if you choose, to 5D, but 5D isn't a different body, it's not a different planet, it's a state of consciousness. It's the heart consciousness. Okay. So connecting through the heart, connecting to our higher selves. And then when I call in the team, I have like a specific team that I always work with of guides of unconditional love, angels of unconditional love, archangels of unconditional love. And what I would suggest is by using that word unconditional love, a love without conditions, which means source mirroring source. So we're not here to like for entertainment. We're here with heart consciousness. So so as we land here in this time, in this space, let's reconnect through our hearts into divine presence, our higher selves, connecting to source. And the body just automatically releases what it doesn't need just off the top. It's like, oh, phew, as soon as you say it, it just moves energy. And then just allow that opening if you choose. So breathe in and out, releasing the shoulders. Get comfy. It's always important. Good. Okay, so we're also going to ground into Gaia. Gaia is new Earth, 5D and above, up to 9D, 5D to 9D. 9D is the highest dimension the human body can actually stay in physical form. And after 9D, it transcends. So So I'm like what they call old school, where I incarnate, I go through the density, through the trauma, basically, and then awaken through the trauma, awaken the light body, which is also called the diamond body on Earth. And then many of the children that are like 20, young adults even that are 20 to just being born, they are not, they're the new school. So we've kind of paved the way in the old school going through density. And many of the children, um, they are remaining conscious. So they're at least 5D incarnated. So as we land here, let's draw strength from Gaia, grounding in the crystalline grid of Gaia, centered in our own being, right? We're here for our own awakening, our own healing. Good. Connecting through the heart to source. So now we open our hearts to source. And then you'll hear, for me, I feel it in my solar plexus, like the gut, the whole stomach area. I'll feel a yes, and it's almost like a compression happens. So just kind of pay attention if you choose. How is your body responding when you're hearing these words? So our hearts are our sacred gateway for divine love, wisdom, and healing. And I always look down because it actually helps me anchor faster, because then I'm anchoring heart and then Gaia. So grounded on the earth. And then we're invoking our higher self for clarity and alignment. Good. We call upon our higher selves for answers, clearing, and alignment. If you feel something in your throat, just release it. Sometimes just acknowledging there's something coming through. May our higher selves be fully aligned with Source, guiding this session with love, unconditional love, clarity, and the highest good for all, so that we have a chance to feel like at home in our bodies. And now we surround our spaces with Source's golden light, fully protected. It's funny, I heard somebody say, oh, well, why do we have to always do these protections? It's like, well, Earth is convoluted. There's a lot to awaken through, a lot of density to awaken through. So actually, we have to do kind of clearings and protection all the time. And we know that Earth is we just have to turn on the news to see how convoluted the Earth is. So, but we're always just aligning energies to unconditional love, source, and our highest good. So all interference, all false guides, I always look at, okay, before it cut out, what was I saying, you know? And I was calling them little stinkers. And I was talking about what they're like. They're like, let's see if this will connect back to YouTube. I might have to start a new YouTube. Okay. So it seems like I have to start a new YouTube. Okay. So Sunija, I might have to. Okay. 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 So it looks like I'm back. I'm back. So with all the technical stuff, we just ask Source to come in and just kind of protect the space, protect the transmission through Zoom, protect the transmission through YouTube. So thanks, Sinija, for joining and having a question. It's a really good question because it kind of ties into what we were just dealing with. Because the way I see it is kind of like there's that yellow brick road, which I call like the Source's yellow brick road in like the Wizard of Oz. And then there's this man, everybody, there's this booming voice and it's like terrorizing everybody. And they're like, oh, they're so like afraid. And then they get to where the voice is and they pull the curtain back and it's this little old kind of scared man that was revealed. It's like that where when we call in Source, we bring in a lot of light and then with our higher selves. And so good. Okay. So we just ask for all interference, all false guides, all obstructive energies to there are they are repelled by Source's light, Source's golden light. So we set the intention for compassionate healing. We now open the channel of unconditional love and compassion with Source. May all guidance that come through our higher selves for the highest good and bring self-healing clarity and for the good of all. So let's begin. Okay, Sanija's got a question. So Sanija is she, her, 1973. How do we deal with addictions and the entities that might prompt us to do destructive things? Are they part of the traumas? Thank you, Sinija. Thank you for being here. Let's see. And then Sunija also asks, can this be cleared from our ancestors for ourselves and our children? Yeah, so for you, you're the guardian of your children. And so we can't interfere with your children's free will, but we can call on a clearing and healing for the ancestral lines. Yeah. So let's take a look. So Sunija again, so 1973, she. Okay, so mhm. So you can kind of think of things as like in terms of vibration. I find that like the most neutral. So say if I drink a if I have if okay, so say if we have a glass of wine and then we have a second glass of wine. So right away your immune system is kind of being compressed, but then so is the nervous system. And our nervous system is like the guard dog. The nervous system tells us when we're safe. The nervous system tells us when something feels good. And then when we've had a lot of trauma, the nervous system's kind of like shaking, right? So then you kind of need extra security and extra support. So some people bring in, you can sit next to them and they feel, so just clearing the throat. And you sit next to them and you feel really good. But then you sit with beside other people and you're just like totally more agitated and you're drained and you feel like you have no energy. Well, your body is like a messenger, not like a messenger. Your body is a messenger, and your body is telling you this feels good or this doesn't feel good. And so as soon as we bring in alcohol or drugs or addictions, you're not feeding, if you think of it this way, you're not feeding your heart, you're feeding what Eckhart Tolle calls the pain body, which is also the trauma bond, which is also can be ancestral trauma. Good. Good. So do you feel that, the difference in that? And just connecting, and we're just naming it. We're just naming how it can feel good around some people and it can not feel good around other people. It's not a judgment, it's energy, it's vibration. Okay, so good. So the addictions kind of feed pain, which means they're feeding the pain body, which is a very low vibration. So it's like low 3D. So that will be like shame, guilt, fear has very little light. And so the addictions kind of feed the lowest vibration. So like the heart, say, is like at 500 on the Dr. Hawkins scale, which is 5D. And then shame and guilt will be like 20, 30, 40, 50, if you think of it that way. So that's like we want to be staying in the heart consciousness level. And then if you add drugs and add alcohol, it lowers your consciousness. And then maybe hooking into shame, but maybe it's not your shame. Maybe it's the ancestral shame. So it's hard to stay conscious. Okay, so good. So just feeling what that, so sometimes when we name, not sometimes, but when we name shame, we name guilt. Guilt is the biggest hook. And then it's all like trauma, like it's like alcohol and drugs, kind of, especially after, like Eckhart Tolle told me in 2000, he said, if you drink more than 2 drinks, you kind of like open up your field and then kind of whatever is around. But it's not like they're not around you, they're more like in your nervous system. And that's what makes it so tricky, is because you're thinking, okay, well, it's an entity around me, but actually like it's in your trauma, embeds in your nervous system. Alcohol comes into your nervous system, drugs come into your nervous system. And that's what makes it so tricky. So think of it more like as your consciousness level. So maybe in understanding kind of like the system can kind of help be conscious in moments that makes it harder to kind of make a decision, because you're just like, no, I'm just going to stay at my heart level, which is 500, which means I'm only connected to source, and I'm only going to stay connected with my heart, because the pain body wants you to jump out of your body. But healing is through the body, through the nervous system, through the inner being. Like, we don't, at 5D, we don't ascend out of our bodies. We're fully embodied in 3D, but we're quickly. So if you agree, just say yes. So your heart, we're just going to kind of like, what they're saying is like, we're just going to pump up your heart a bit, pump up your heart, kind of like amplify your heart. So you can really feel a distinction. There. So we're just going to pump up your heart so you really feel the distinction between what is authentically you, like your true being, and then what I call like the false, the shadow. Okay, good. So clearing, clearing, clearing. So lots of interference with the internet again today. So just ask for source to bring in kind of what I call like an abundance of source golden light for everybody, for all. Good. So at the same time, it's also cutting cords. So we're just doing like a clean sweep of what kind of like any little hanger-ons, I just call them, like anything that's hanging on that isn't for your highest and greatest good, that can pass. Like it's almost like it's almost gone, but then it's kind of like sticking. Like that's like the word they want to say, it's like sticky. So they're just removing the stickiness. So good. Okay, good. So you can feel the movement, and then just anybody that's watching too, you just say yes, right? Because what are we doing? We're clearing the heart, whatever is not for your highest and greatest good. And today, good. So there's just an eagle that flew over, and the eagles are like the messengers. And so to me, they're confirmation that Gaia, Mother Earth, is saying, yes, like you've moved a lot out of your heart. So, which means also removing it. When you remove it out of your heart, you also remove it out of the ancestral line, because all the ancestors, they need a hero. They need somebody in the lineage that says, yes, I'll remove the density. I'll remove the trauma for everybody's highest and greatest good. So clearing, clearing, clearing. And the eagle was not an eagle, sorry, the crow was really high up that kind of made contact. And so to me, that means they're looking at the whole overview of your ancestral line. And then it's funny, like yesterday in Vancouver, it was really sunny, and today it's snowing. Like it hasn't snowed in Vancouver. It like we have snow up at Whistler and up in the mountains, but in the city center, we haven't had snow this year. So it's funny because there's cherry blossoms out. Vancouver has a lot of cherry blossom trees, and then it's snowing. So we're just noticing there's this, what does the snow want to do? Kind of like blanket, but also it brings in a lot of white light. So yeah, good. So just feel what that feels like in the body to just be like, okay, we're just releasing everything that can go right now that is not for your highest and greatest good, that's not for the highest and greatest good for the ancestral lines that can clear. It seems more like the matrilineal line, the mother line. So it's the left side of the body. So yeah, it's the mother, the matrilineal line. So we're just clearing, clearing, clearing. So the snow, like I always feel like the elements come and help. So it's like a protection, the snow, and then also it kind of washes everything away because as soon as it turns into liquid, which now it's turning into rain, then it's just washing everything away. And that's Gaia. That's, when we connect to Gaia, Gaia also helps us because as we clear, Gaia clears. So good. Yeah. Like for you, Sinija, it's like the mother line. So the best thing we want to say too for entities is putting salt is ancient, putting salt in the four corners of your room. And then you need to change the salt about every month. And then use some kind of oil like peppermint essential oil or lavender. Well, actually, lavender's not strong enough. So peppermint, rosemary, um, frankincense, and myrrh usually go together, cedar. And you can put it in a little spray bottle and then also spritz it in the corners because the corners are where the low vibrations gather. They gather because in the other times, like now, we have a lot of furniture that's up against the wall. So, but usually before they would always be sweeping the houses, sweeping everything, sweeping, sweeping, sweeping. But we're not doing that, daily sweeping. So putting that little bit, and you just need a teeny pinch, um, like real salt, like sea salt. You can put it in like a bowl if you have like hardwood floors and you don't want to put salt on your floors. You can put it in like in a tiny bowl. So put that in all the four corners of the room and then spritz with a bit of essential oil. And then that right away brings the vibration to at least 5D. And entities do not like seawater, salt water, and they don't like scent like essential oils. It's too concentrated, it's too high vibe. So just think of them, they always want to be at the lowest, barely living level. So that's where the entities live. They live at that lowest consciousness level, like almost like, you know, depression, guilt, shame, like so but you can actually physically clearing your space and then naming your space. Um, so you can claim, okay, so what I'm hearing is you can say, I claim this space in source's name. I claim this computer in source's name. I complain, I um I claim the internet in source's name. I claim the camera in source's name. I claim. So if you're staying connected with your heart and you're daily connecting, or not daily, just all the time, like claiming things in source's name, like you can claim this like cable, like um my microphone, you can claim your microphone in source's name. You can claim the cables for your computer in source's name, and the outlet, the power bars in source's name. We can claim our phones in source's name because all of the technology also brings our vibration down, right? So when, like we're looking at social media and we're in a good like heart space, and then we see, and then something pops up on our feed, and then it immediately drops our energy, right? So we can claim our phones in source's name, but especially the cameras and the microphones. And then just feel how that just releases in the body. So just claiming your space in source's name. I claim my home in source's name. So right away we're feeling, okay, good. Okay, these are like things to do. And then we can just clear very quickly in the whole lineage. So the matrilineal lineage, the mother line, we can clear very quickly. So everything that is not for Sneeja's highest and greatest good and for her children, we're asking for it to be cleared. Okay, so we got a yes. And then we're asking for it to be sealed in the Akashic records. So we're asking for it to be sealed in the Book of Life. We're asking for it to be sealed in the Akashic records. And we're asking for it to be sealed in the tapestry. And then from the Egyptian line, Thoth has the cosmic records. And we're just asking for everything that can be updated for Sinija and Sinija's line, and also for her children. We're asking anything that can be cleared, sealed, and delivered for Sinija and her children's highest and greatest good. So there's no more looping, no more interference. And then Sinija will do the salting, the clearing, the calling in source, the connecting through the heart, the essential oils. Good. So we're just going to do like a sweep from the ancestral line. We'll just be like, we're gently, everybody move along. That is not for Sinija's highest and greatest good. So we're asking for a transformation at this point, in this point right now, the 10th of March, 2026, we're claiming it in the name of transformation for the ancestral line. Okay, good. The claiming of technology is new Earth. So for us to land in new Earth in 5D, the claiming of technology is really important. Before you even, pick up your phone, say, I claim my phone in source's name, if you choose. But this is how they agitate is through the nervous system. So when we claim technology in source's name, then that potential for the agitation, just like alcohol and drugs, the potential for agitation It's like all of a sudden, all your cells are on guard. All your nervous system is ready. You're aligned with your heart. You're connected to source. And so you're not in a weak position. I call the sneaky snakes come in when our when we're weakened and we're, buy into the guilt, buy into the shame. So if you think of them, like everybody thinks, I can see entities, I'm a seer, but entities are so low vibe. That's why I call them little stinkers. They're so low vibe, yet they are destructive and they do take consistent action to clear, but they cannot live at the heart consciousness level, and they can definitely not live at the source mirroring source consciousness. Okay. So the ultimate protection is your vibration, is your frequency. And so if you're watching this, you know, you're already in a high vibration because how I see it is the higher self called and you answered, right? So you're listening to your higher self. Good. So we're just verifying this in the body. We're confirming the integration. So I'm just asking if there's more. So say something weird happens, like a light flickers or a door closes, or you feel like you're kind of being pushed down the stairs. So right away I feel it in the heart. And and then you're like, "Hey, wait a minute. What was that?" That's a lot of consciousness because you're not like, "Oh, I'm just going to fall down the stairs." You're like, "Wait a minute. What's in my field?" And you're like on alert, which then automatically your heart is on, and then your higher self is on, and then you're saying, "Hey, what is going on?" And then you say it, leave in source's name. I claim this space in source's name. And really put your foot down, because you're a light being, because you're a heart-based being. And that's the only difference on earth. There's heart-based beings and non-heart-based beings. That's earth. So anything that kind of you're like, that's weird. So good. Yeah, good. Good. So we've kind of like looked at the current landscape, and we're always looking for the clearest path forward, and including the ancestral line, because Sinija asked, so we looked at that. And then we're getting confirmation and integration into the body. And then now you're like on alert, like Eckhart, he would say, so he was my meditation teacher one-to-one, but it was not closed eye meditation. We were talking, and then Eckhart, I would be like, I was 27. So I was like, Eckhart, blah, 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 blah. And that happened. And like that, because I'm like, that's how I talk. So, and he'd be like, yes, yes, yes. And then the only time he would interrupt me is he would say, that's the ego. And then we would go into presence in that moment. And then if we did any meditation, well, we actually, if we did, every time, once we finished the talking part, we would do eye to eye. So consciousness to consciousness, source to source, presence to presence, open eye meditation. So you can practice that. So before we would kind of close our eyes and then kind of go. But when you meditate now, try meditating with your eyes open. So good. Okay. Okay. So always ask, is this source? And is this emanated from source? And then is this sovereign? And you can affirm, I am sovereign. Like you don't have to wait for anybody to give you permission. You can just say, I am sovereign. Good. And so now try it consciously, and you can listen to this. I try to make videos for each person so that they can listen to their own part. It takes me a couple weeks to kind of make the videos. Well, I don't make them. And I'm not going to take credit for that. Tech. So we're just going to quickly, we're just clearing the heart. So you can see that in the hand. So we're just clearing. I'm always asking, is there more? And then can we complete? Right? So you're asking the right questions, Sinija. And the questions you asked, how to deal with addictions and entities is like universal. It is the biggest, hottest question right now. And then how are they connected to trauma? Well, they try to loop you into your trauma, but that's why we updated the records, the Akashic records. So I have a tech person, so it does. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We love tech people because you can see a lot happens with my technology. So thank you for your patience. But we're going to close now for Sinija. So we're going to end for Sinija. So we're asking that all the healing, all the energy clearing, and all the blessings for the ancestral line, but especially for Sinija and her family, because they're the way showers. They're the ones. Sinija is the one that's asking the questions and asking for the healings. So we give thanks to Source, our higher selves, and our guides of unconditional love. And yeah, I just got the question. So from Kevin, he just asked, can he have the clearing now? And it's like, yeah. So 5D is we are all one. So the healing and clearing is for everybody. And today there was a lot of information on clearings, kind of what I call the okay, good. So we're just clearing, clearing, clearing. Kind of the hand has the whole body. So we're just clearing, clearing, clearing. So anybody that's watching that wants, like I call like a dust off, just say yes. Yes, I want the clearing. Yes, I want the healing. Yes, I want to update it in the Akashic records and the Book of Life. I want it updated in the records. So, and thank you, Sinija. That was a really good question. All right. Well, it's like the basics, right? So we kind of went through, but these are big things. Like this is the guts of 3D Earth, the muck, I like to call it. It's like, it's convoluted, it's mucky, and we have to really be in our center, claim our space with source. Good. Okay, so good. So for Sinija, we got a transformation. So the angels of unconditional love have affirmed transformation for Sinija. Okay, good. Okay, so and then all the clearings and claiming technology, it's all to bring us into our power. Because with all the interference to our nervous system, the interference with our bodies, we get so overwhelmed. And then if you kind of say, I claim this space in Source's name, it's like the power like comes in and then it just clears the field. Because it's a lot of consciousness to remember to ask, source to come in and claim the space, claim the technology, claim your computers. The new earth is claiming technology because a lot of the interference comes through technology. So thank you. Okay. So, and then the power is in claiming your space, salt, corners, essential oils, peppermint, rosemary, cedar, whatever scent you like. But the strong scent tea tree is even good. Okay. All right. So thank you. All right. So let's take a look at the chat. Okay. All right, so sending you guys lots of love. Thank you for being here. We're creating a really beautiful little community. And I always think it's our higher selves know each other, and then our higher selves are the ones that bring us together. So I have clients that one client said I was in Australia and I could have had a session. And then I went to Paris and I could have had a session. And then she came to Vancouver on her way to Colombia and she had a session. So you'll know who connects with you through the heart. All right, so let's look at Linda, 1962. Please ask to check energy system for any attachments and implants. Also may ask healing for my sister, Joe, 1961. Joe, 1961. Okay, so a year apart. Okay, so Joe, is she? Okay, so it's the questions usually come in together, but we can see with all the technology interference that we've had today that we're hitting the nail on the head. So we're on to something. Um, so, okay, so for Linda, 1962. So, okay, so right away, this is connecting to also to Keevan's question. So Keevan is saying that he wants a clearing as well. And then this also connects with Sinija. So you can see that we're kind of all in alignment. Okay, so we're going to call this one the sisterhood and brotherhood. Okay, the sisterhood and brotherhood, healing and clearing. So we're going to connect with our hearts, connecting to source. We're asking for benevolent healing and clearing for Linda and her sister Joe. Joe is 1961 and also a female. Okay, so connecting through the heart. Right away, I feel it actually like in my gut. So my gut kind of does a yes. Okay, so we're looking for the clearest path forward. And we want to check the body. We want to check the nervous system. We want to find out what's going on and then what can get healed and cleared. And we want this to be aligned with our higher self. That's very important. The alignment with your higher self and then alignment to source. So we're kind of like what I call opening the wingspan, opening the wingspan. So just bringing in a lot of clearing, and then we're bringing all the energy in, and then we're aligning it. Okay, so Linda's energy was way out, so right away we're aligning it. Okay, so we're looking for regulated clarity. Good. So you can always look down at your heart. Like I keep my eyes open and look down at my heart. Okay, and Linda's specifically asking for attachments and implants. And so really, Linda, what I describe is she's putting her foot down and she's saying, I want the implants gone. I want what is not sovereign, aligned with my higher self. And Linda wants it gone. So she's saying she wants any attachments and implants out of her field because nothing should be in our field. It should just be you and source. That's it. Okay, good. So just releasing through the three chakras, the root in between the legs, the sacral 2 inches below the belly button, and then the solar plexus. So that one is the power center. So they always want to interfere with the power center where the ribs meet. Okay, and we're really putting our foot down in the way that we're claiming this, and we're saying it out loud, and we're bringing in source. So source mirroring source. Staying connected to the heart. Okay, so we want to make the field regulated. Clearing. And the big thing is don't be afraid like of any entities or attachments. Just think they're very low vibe. I know the little stinkers, they cause a lot of problems, but they're very low vibe. And compared to source, they're like a speck. But on Earth, they do a lot of interference. But just know that we're claiming all of this clearing in source's name. And we're really putting our foot down, meaning we're not changing our minds. We want these entities cleared. We want the attachments cleared. We want the interference cleared. And we're bringing in source's golden light to do the clearing. So claiming our sovereign power. Nothing is supposed to be in our field. Nothing's supposed to be in our body. Nothing is supposed to be interfering with us. Yeah, good. So we're just clearing, clearing, clearing. And then I can feel it. So we can feel it in the solar plexus. And we're just calling in source's golden light. Okay, good. And this is for everyone. So we're claiming this for the sisterhood and brotherhood. So for all. So everything that is not for our highest and greatest good, we're releasing in source's name. So return to source, basically. So when we call in source, it's a lot of light, and entities, attachments do not like light, especially golden light, because they can kind of play with the white false light, but they can't do anything with the golden light of source. So right away we saw like a golden horse. So that's the masculine coming in. And then the more we do these clearings, they're saying then the more the abundance. So it's like the golden horse is coming on the masculine side, on the right side. Because we're actually, when we do this clearing, we claim our space, we clear our space, we clear our energy field, and we say, no, no attachments, no interference. Where in my system is there interference? And my answer is no. Yeah, so we're looking always for the most sovereign and fast track. So, because everybody's done so much work, but we want to like really shift, right? So with Linda, she's asking, she's saying, check my energy system. She wants the attachments, the implants, she's naming them. So the little stinkers are not hidden in this moment, they're named. But we're not just using our human selves, our human bodies, we're actually connecting with our higher selves and then connecting to source. So clearing. So you just can say, if this feels aligned, you just say, yes, I want the clearing. Yes, I want the clearing to source consciousness, and then release to source consciousness. Good. So no false guides and no interference may enter. That's very important. And you can affirm no interference. Good. So just hold that. I feel some pressure in the third eye. So we're just going to clear that, clear the interference. And we're always looking, okay, what's the clearest path forward and how to really clear the muck, which is all that interference, the entities, the implants, all that's very low vibe. Okay, and we seal this in source's name. Good. And we can feel the heart, like it's a lot of pressure on the heart, right? These implants and these attachments and the interference is hard on the heart because the heart is sovereign and the heart is only with source. So we're just clearing that for Linda. Clearing the mouth so she can speak her truth, so there's no interference. And then just open, open, open. And then align with the heart. Right? So Linda's field was really open at the beginning, kind of like a lot happening. And then we've closed it, brought it to the center, brought it in alignment. So through the heart, her higher self, source, but inside. And then it brings in a lot of light. So the implants and the interference, what we call the little stinkers, because they want you to be afraid of them and go, oh, there's something happening to me. There's something around me. And yeah, there are, but you tell it to go and you put your foot down. Nothing should be in your sovereign field. And then just claim it in source's name. Good. We're releasing the jaw on the left side. And then there's lots happening with the heart right now for Linda. So we're just releasing the heart. So that's where the interference has been. It's from the past. It's from the interference has come through the heart and then the third eye. So it's almost like being told you're not seeing things correctly. You're seeing things correctly, Linda. Okay? You're seeing things correctly. And then the moment you do that, then you're alignment with your heart happens. Good. So just open, open, open. So we're just opening the heart because the heart's needed to protect itself, but doesn't need to anymore. And we're also releasing the jaw on the left side. So still more. Okay. Connecting to the solar plexus. Good. So the guidance isn't complete until the body says yes. So we're always looking for the yes. Yes, this is source and this is emanated from source. And is this sovereign, right? So sovereign always means, is this for your highest and greatest good? Okay, that's beautiful. And so claim it. Like, no funny business. You're not here to be somebody's punching bag. You're not here to be used and abused. Like, you're a sovereign being with source. Like, the answer is no. Okay, no. It's not funny, but it's funny. It's like, this is no, like, no, get out of my field. I send you to source, and they don't like that. So they don't like being sent to source, but send them to source. You don't have to deal with the muck. You just release it to source. I feel something funny in my heart, I release it to source. I feel something funny in my third eye, I release it to source. I feel something funny in my jaw, I release it to source. I only ask for source healing. Good. Okay, and then we're just opening up what we're calling is Linda's angel wings. So we're just opening her angel wings. So we're opening up the wingspan, which is the unconditional love. So, and this is for her sister Jo as well. It's like this healing for the heart. Yeah, good. And really put your foot down. You know, it's just me and source, source mirroring source. And that's it. Right? So that's really you're gonna really vibrate at that 5D level of consciousness, and you're gonna be really in your power of empowerment. You can think of it that way. And this is for anybody that's watching. So we're just really releasing quickly through the hair because it gets the job done really fast. We're always looking for the fast track because there's so much muck on 3D, so much muck. Okay, good. So we're bringing in compassionate healing for her sister Jo. And so blessings and unconditional love and source love. So we're just being very gentle with Jo, just very gentle, just very gentle. You know, because if you send it, you know, it with the higher self will know the volume, you know, because we want to be very respectful of everybody's station. And you know, no interference, because that's what we're used to on 3D. We're used to, you know, people crossing our consent and saying, oh, well, you know, you consented to this, you know, in an inferred way in these convoluted contracts. And so here we're just saying, like, unless it's aligned with source, the answer is no. And then you don't have to get into the details. Good. And so we're always looking for verification for the body. Good. We don't want to overwhelm the nervous system, right? So it's very important. The body, tells the truth. And we know that because as soon as you feel this, so for the question before, it also crossed over to Linda's question, and Sunija says, thank you so much. She cried from joy and release, right? We're not meant to hold all of this garbage. It is garbage. The little stinkers, the entities, the interference, the attachments, they're little stinkers. And so we need to sweep them out with a broom or not a broom. We can do it energetically, but also claim your physical space. Your physical space is a representation of your own body, right? So as within, as without. So, and we need to protect the technology and claim it in Source's name. Because we use technology all the time. We have the phones on our bodies all the time. Smartwatches, AirPods. So we're looking for the confirmation. So I'm always asking, is there more that we can clear? And then they say good. So Linda's good. So we're going to close for Linda here. So thank you, Linda, for bringing your question forward. And we send lots of blessings and healing to your sister Jo as well. And then just anchoring back in the heart, connecting to source. And then I just was reading the chat, and Linda asks, is the heart an ancestral issue? Lots of physical heart conditions in the family. And the answer is, yeah, that was obvious. Yeah, I mean, it's not obvious, but yes, because you're kind of like the way shower. So like Linda, Sunija, Kevin, you're like the way showers because you're the ones asking the questions and you're the ones wanting to do the clearings. So just staying in that nervous system regulated, fully, I am sovereign, I am free. And you can just affirm that. Good. And then so thank you, Linda. So we'll close for Linda. Okay, good. So for Kevin, we're just going to quickly look into Kevin. He's always the youngest. Well, I think somebody else was also young too. Okay, so let's take a look at the chat just quickly. So sending lots of love and thanks for everybody coming through and asking questions. So yeah, so Cindy just said that it really landed. She cried with joy and release. So that is the body saying, finally, 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 the muck is being cleared. We're not meant to hold all of this stuff, especially for the ancestors. And hi to Kevin. What a wonderful guy. Okay, so let's give him a clearing too. We did the last one. It all comes together, but we did the sisterhood and brotherhood. But let's look into Kevin specifically. I can't remember your birthday. We can just do a healing and clearing. Yeah, and Sunija is saying, I did fear those little stinkers. And yeah, remember, they're like the Wizard of Oz with that booming voice, but the voice isn't outside, it's inside. It's in the ego, it's in the conscious mind. It's the conscious mind that's regurgitating everything over and over and over and over again until you're completely stressed out and you just want relief. And you want relief from, if I just have a drink, it will help me relax, right? So, but that's the stinkers are the ones that created the agitation. And so just claim your space. And that's why I call them the little stinkers, because they like being called, other things, like they have a lot of power, and they've really tormented, 3D, but Mother Earth has also said enough, and Mother Earth is transitioning to 5D with or without the little stinkers, you know, and that shift has already happened. So now we're just kind of cleaning house. And then Linda said, lots of love to our little group. And we are creating a really beautiful community. And I'm really grateful. Thank you for showing up, on these Tuesdays. And it matters, these Tuesdays matter a lot, because when I did one-on-one sessions with Eckhart from 1997 to 2000, which I learned a lot, it was on a Tuesday. And then I learned like somatic healing, AEDP it's called, with a psychologist. So trauma, but healing it in the nervous system, healing it in the body. And I did that for like, I don't know, 16 years every Tuesday. So Tuesdays are kind of like the golden day, the golden, the golden ticket I'm hearing. Tuesdays. Okay. So yeah, so Sunija said, Linda said, love to our little group. And then Sunija answered, yes, Linda, much love. So much love to everybody. So let's clear Kevin's field, our our male representative that showed up, which I do actually have a real balance of masculine and feminine. Come see me. Um, I'm very balanced. My practice has both. So, and then I had Eckhart as one of my main teachers, masculine, and then my psychologist, Deborah, for somatic healing, a female. So I've always had a really good balance. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate Kevin for being here. Sunita's asking, does the day of the week matter? And I said, no, the day of the week doesn't matter. And I may pop in and do lives on other days besides Tuesdays, but they just have some personal meaning. That's why I'm doing the YouTube lives, just because a lot of my healing has anchored on a Tuesday. That's all. So, but I'm done healing all days of the week. So, okay. So Kevin, okay, let's tune in. Okay, so we're just clearing Kevin's field, and then you just say yes. And we can feel it as an affirmation or confirmation in the gut. So the solar plexus, where the ribs meet. Okay. And so we're connecting to his power center. 24/7. I'm hearing 24/7 healing for Kevin. 24/7. So they're going to kind of stay very tight with you for 24/7. So 24 hours a day for 7 days. Your team is going to stay very tight with you. So just kind of know that your team is with you, and just connect through the heart to your higher self. And then just ask questions. And even if you feel like, oh, are they going to answer back? And how do we know? And just keep asking, but you just can ask once, just higher self, and then ask the question, and then let go. Because if we ask the same question over and over again, we kind of make a track of looping. So just ask and then release. Good. So open, 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 clear, clear, clear. So we're going to bring in the golden light from source. So for Kevin and for all, just feels really good. So just connecting with your heart. Yeah. So bringing in the golden light of source through the heart. And remember, your higher self has multidimensional sight, direct connection to source. So fully conscious. Good. Good. I don't know, it's hard to not stay in this state of source, golden light from source, but we're anchoring it into the heart. We're really kicking the stinkers out. Good. So connecting, connecting. And, for Kevin to know that, he's conscious. He was born conscious. He's part of the new earth. So he's not going through the density and awakening through density. He was born awake and has stayed awake. So just know the way you feel and perceive things. Even say your family members, they're not in the same state of being as you. They're not in the same consciousness. So you were born into 5D, think of it that way. And it's just about maintaining the vibration of 5D. And above, you can go all the way to 9D. 9D is the highest consciousness level that the earth body can handle. But there are people on earth that are 9D. The new school, they call it. I'm part of the old school, right? Born through density and trauma, and then awakening through density and trauma. And then Kevin, you're born in the new way, the new earth, which is awakening and staying conscious. Like even your teachers won't be in the same consciousness as you, if you think of it that way. So kind of just notice how they talk in comparison to how you talk and how you feel in your body. And if it's not in your alignment, just don't take it on. Just releasing for you. But the team is on with you for, we're hearing 24/7, 24 hours for 7 days to anchor this. It feels like you got kind of confused because you weren't getting the mirroring from the outside from your teachers and ancestors, but they're not at your consciousness level. And so on earth, we're always like, oh, the older people know, but the young generation is coming through conscious. So they're not going to understand you exactly. So just notice how you feel around them more than that. And then the ones that are in alignment with you, you're going to feel relaxed. You're going to feel like you can be yourself. You can feel like, oh, they understand me. But it's harder to find the older generation that they're conscious, because consciousness for the old school has to be chosen. Yeah, Sanija's saying, yeah, old school is strong, tough souls. Yeah, very tough souls, like coming through the density, the thickest of trauma. So the thickest of trauma. So good. So we'll just close here for Kevin. 24/7, the team's on. They're kind of like dusting off your field. Connect with your heart, connect to source, and just be source mirroring source. And then whoever you feel good around, like your nervous system, then they're like at your consciousness level. If you feel an agitation or they get agitated around you, it's not you. You aren't agitating them. They're getting agitated because the light is agitating them. The consciousness level, the heart-based consciousness. Very, very tough souls. And then, yeah, we cleared the muck, clear the ley lines. Yeah, definitely. So thank you for all your questions. We'll end here. We started a bit late with all our tech situations that we call the little stinkers, but we managed and we stayed through it and we stayed connected. Um, so let's end here. Thank you for joining. We're connecting and creating a really beautiful community. Thank you for your questions. Your questions matter. And I'm going to send everybody lots of love and a lot of, and with gratitude from my heart to yours, source mirroring source. And then always take what resonates and just release the rest, right? You're the boss and you're more powerful than you know because we were lied to that we aren't. Well, they're not. Good. So this is complete and we will end now. All right. Thank you, everybody.